Hi, everyone. Art Director of International Filmmaker Festival of New York, specialist in American drama, and moderator of New York Neil Gallery's 5th edition. New York Neil Gallery is a global industry event, and New York Neil Gallery was founded in 2017 by Mrika Krasniqi and Anil Zogyani. Today, we continue our IG Live series, and my next guest is Mariah Christie. Mariah is a brilliant singer-songwriter from Italy. Mariah, are you here? Let's go live together. Can't wait to talk to you and learn more about your art, about your songs and upcoming album. So, while Mariah is joining, I want to say to our viewers that they will be given 20 awards in such nominations: Best Photography, Best Painting, Best Portrait, Best Human Right Image, Best Image of Nature, Best Image of Life, Best Music Video, Best Female Singer, Best Male Singer, Best Band, Best Directing, Best Designing, Best Makeup Artist, Best Song, Best Original Video, Best Animation, Best Installation, Best Student Project, and Best Experimental Project, and Best Virtual Reality. How about that? It's pretty awesome, and we have brilliant photographers, filmmakers, directors of animation, singers, songwriters, bands, awesome installations. I saw so many wonderful works, and I mean, can't wait to talk to the creators of these works. So who is here? Andrea, you're here. So let's go with Andrea. Talk to Mariah. So Andrea is a brilliant photographer. Can't wait to talk to her. Andrea Gluckman from United States of America. Hi, Andrea. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Amina?
I'm doing awesome. Awesome meeting you. It's an honor. I want to say to our viewers that Andrea is an internationally acclaimed photographer, writer, and diplomatic advisor, professor, researcher at Harvard University, University of the Middle East, and University of Rochester.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Many of those things were iterations of my life a while ago, but yes, that is all true.
But it's true. It's incredible. And you are such a brilliant photographer. I saw your work, and its title is Storm Goddess. It's so beautiful, and it's black and white. And when did you make this picture?
I actually took that in October. I'm working on a project, a collaboration with a number of artists, dancers, musicians, composers on a topic called The Weight of Water. And it's going to be here in the area. And so this is one of the women who is helping to create the model. And it is a woman who's helping to create the entire process. She's amazing. And she's so strong that we got to have a session together during the broader shooting, because I was also doing a lot of drone footage and video footage for the show.
So, and she eventually became a heroine of your picture, right?
I think she's a heroine anyway, but definitely in the picture.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So guys, if you're looking for a model, don't just choose among outstanding, strong people near you who help you make a piece of art, right?
It's true. There is such a wealth of talent here in Rochester, in Western New York, and it's not something I would have guessed because I'm not from here, but there are some of the most amazing photographers, cinematographers, dancers, musicians that I've ever encountered. And yeah, I would invite anyone interested in collaboration to come to Rochester. There's will not be disappointed with the talent here.
Absolutely. I mean, and your work is a great proof of that. And I want to say that your picture, Storm Goddess, is from photo series, from an installation, right?
Yes, that is
There's
correct.
an art installation in New York. And where can people see it actually live?
Well, this will be in Oswego, which is a town that's kind of in the north of Western New York, in March. And it is a collaboration between different friends and artists, academics that I know at the University of Rochester and in the State University of New York, Oswego systems.
Mm-hmm.
March, but hopefully it will have a life of its own after the physical performance with the dancers, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully have another life online or perhaps in a gallery.
That's awesome. So you'll have a performance and installation and photo event. It's so cool when you see so many different formats in one place, at the opening of a gallery exhibition. It's fantastic. So can't wait to see that, at least online, but in ideal live. So tell me, Andrea, who inspires you?
In terms of photography or just in general?
Whoa. Let's start from photography and then go to life.
Or yeah, well, the reason I ask is because I'm not, I mean, I am a photographer, but I'm really not. That's not my training. I don't have a technical background. And I really am, my background was more in political and religious analysis and
Mm-hmm.
religious systems and people. So I really took photography to help document my research. And
Mm-hmm.
so that only recently in the past year or so has been able to shift over into a more artistic realm and trying to help curate people's emotional response to.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's why I asked that, because I am certainly not schooled in photography the way that most of these amazing photographers are. But I would say somebody that I look to a lot in terms of her work is Sally Mann, and
Mm-hmm.
a Southern photographer, very controversial in her own sets of ways. But she deals a lot with landscape and hidden histories in landscape, particularly when it involves racial issues in the United States. And I think she's done an amazing job using the processing of her film, the actual
Mm-hmm.
processing to texture the meaning that she has in her photographs too. It's kind of a haunting take on she always says the terrible beauty and the terrible indifference of landscape
Mm-hmm.
in the South. So she's one that I look to quite a bit. But, I mean, there are people here in Rochester that I love their work too. So,
Mm-hmm.
have a really long list.
I see. So tell me, do you have a lot of photo books on your coffee table?
Oh, yes, I do. I also have children and dogs. So they get eaten and spilled on and such. So I do. I have quite a few, but I'm lucky in that, imagery, we have a very image rich household in terms of
Mm-hmm.
photographs of people we love and beyond. I think that that's really imperative for the kids to be around too,
Mm-hmm.
that they can take in the image, an emotional motivator too, and not only all of these 8 million books you see. There
Yeah.
are other ways that they can interact with the world.
Yeah, real books, not ebooks, I enjoy paper books way more than ebooks. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can smell the taste of a sheet of a paper, right?
It's true. Absolutely. It's true. Yeah.
Yes. So tell me, when you sell your pictures after, the exhibition, do you feel happy or sorry that okay, it's gone and I need to make a copy for myself, right? Or you have like a copy of everything and it's like a double on sale.
You bring up a really good point, though, Amina, and I'd be interested in how other artists feel about this, because there, the old cliche that art is so subjective, and what you love to see and what brings you meaning in your life, obviously, so subjective. So I don't really expect people to want to buy my work and put it in.
Hmm.
They do, that, believe me, that's absolutely fantastic. And for landscapes, that's normally what I sell. But the pieces that are really important to me, that are more artistic, that are working toward kind of a long form, presentation for social justice issues, or for community use,
Hmm.
expect them to sell. But
Hmm.
I do feel a great attachment to them, and I feel an attachment to the people in them if I am
Hmm.
a portraiture. So I do a lot of portraiture of my children because that's easy.
That's incredible. And it will stay, home, right? So it won't be gone. And I'm sure they will be grateful to you, when they grow up, because it's so important to have beautiful pictures, in your childhood. So you can say, oh, I'm so cute here, I'm even cuter now, right? But it's so great
They
when it's captured on time.
Yeah, and they've been real teachers to me. I have a teenage daughter now, and I have a teenager son. But my daughter, I have to really sit and listen to how she wants to be seen. And again, that's a whole different process as an artist. That, it's one thing to take a picture that you want to take, to how you want to curate it, but to really sit and listen to, the emotional circumstances of somebody and try to produce a picture like that for them, for it to have meaning for them, it's just a whole different thing. And I think I've
Hmm.
been forced to do that because these are children and I love them and I'm in tune with them. So I'm trying to replicate that process now as I'm waking up, right? And doing the
Hmm.
other individuals that I work with. So it's
Yeah, that's
a
awesome.
synergetic process and not just a one way.
Yes, and I want to say to our viewers that you make a lot of social work, and in my opinion, you heal the world through your documentary works and photography. And your picture, Storm Goddess, that's in competition of New York Neil Gallery's fifth edition, the lady there reminded me Jesus Christ, like a
Oh,
female version of a Jesus Christ, because of the outfit, everything about her reminds me Jesus Christ. And was that your intention? Was she like a symbol?
she definitely is a symbol, and I really appreciate hearing that. That's very powerful. I think it was a lot of the symbolism as to who she is. It's also up to the other artists in how they want to weave the performance together, and it's also to her as the model, being the kind of co-creator of this experience.
Hmm.
Definitely was meant to portray a divine feeling and this kind of raw power. She's a very striking woman. And so I tried to, in post-production, really emphasize the angular nature of it and, the lines in her muscles, that she is feminine, she is goddess-like or divine.
Hmm.
She is just raw power. And she made the costume herself. That was all her. I was just trying to capture her from different angles to see if you can see her in the sky. It was a very different experience than seeing her in a landscape or in.
Hmm.
But yes, I'm glad that was portrayed, because it is definitely along those lines that we were intending for her to be in a project about the weight of water and what water means. And it's a very long story, but anyhow, that she would be one of the bringers and holders and keepers and sustainers of something as powerful as water.
Yes, and she is beautiful and she is strong at the same time. You can see that. And today, I mean, I see a lot of people, in different countries, and I can say that if there is a problem, like small problem or like a bigger problem, usually men will give up without even trying to solve the problem, and women will be like, okay, I'm gonna face it. I'm gonna make it. So definitely, women are stronger in general, and unfortunately, we have to admit this fact. So your work is really topical. So it's truly, you know, honest, in my opinion. So tell me, is there a person you'd love to take a picture of? Your idol, or maybe your favorite writer, someone, a personality you'd love to meet and you'd love to take a portrait of?
Yeah, wow, what an amazing question. I mean, I think about most of the people whom I would really love to have that kind of concentrated time with are dead. Sterile thing to say, but true.
Yeah.
So looking forward, I would say I'm lucky enough that right now I'm involved in a project in Arkansas, where I'm from originally, and the people in the community in which I am working are, I mean, they constitute kind of my I don't want to say dream situation, but the ideal situation for me to um, bring my art and to learn from them as a community. So in a way, I'm able to already be experiencing photographing exactly who I would want to photograph.
Mm-hmm.
It just, as, and it's
Mm-hmm.
an amazing group of people. It's in the south of Arkansas. There's going to be a museum opening in September called the Elaine Museum, Richard Ross Civil Rights Center, and focused primarily on the impact of racial violence in the American South and the resilience and return to prosperity for Black communities.
Mm-hmm. I see. And tell me, do you teach at the moment at the universities,
Not
and
at
where?
not at the universities, but I am so lucky that I am able to teach adults here in Rochester. We've been Zooming because
Mm-hmm.
of COVID, but
Online lessons.
yeah, it's an amazing group of people though, because they're I think almost all my senior, and I learn much more from them than I'm sure that they learn from me, but I get to develop curriculum myself. So it
Mm-hmm.
again like an ideal situation because it's things that I love and that I know about and I need to research more, but then I learn from everybody else's response.
You
So
exchange your experiences and ideas, and that's great. I think teaching is awesome because you are always near young people and new generation, and you get this awesome energy, and you give back your knowledge and your experience, and uh, it's fantastic. Nothing better than this, especially if the students are inspired by you and they admire you and they see the real example of a successful teacher and they trust you.
right. Well, just having, open conversations, trying to engage critical thinking skills, all that important stuff that I think is not necessarily able to happen right now in a number of places in the United States. So if I can
Mm-hmm.
talk in that machine, then that's great.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, were there books you saved money to buy? Like maybe when you were a student, you couldn't afford expensive photo books, but you were like saving money because I did like, for Versace photo books, Johnny Versace, Rock and Royalty. So, yeah, fantastic.
It's a wonderful question. I think probably like a lot of our fellow artists here, we were trying to save money just to eat and buy our textbooks and pay our student loans. But I will say that one of my favorite photo books recently is Teju Cole's Golden Apple. And
Mm-hmm.
I heard of Teju Cole because he's a Renaissance man, but there's something about the photography that he has done during quarantine that is deeply, deeply comforting. And I think that's because a lot of my work is disturbing to me. So there's something about the beauty of something that is comforting. It's just as artistically necessary. So I would say Teju Cole. Gold.
I see.
Yep.
Yes, and like everybody at the bookstore knew me, because when I was a student, I was going there like every lunch time, and I was like looking at the pictures at the books, photo books. I love them so much, like collection books.
Yeah.
And there was a book, The Art of Being You. So Gianni Versace is so fantastic, and I bought it, and I was so happy, and now it's in my apartment, and I see like all the Versace photo books. It's a pleasure just to look at them, and see these pictures and inspire you, without saying of clothing, created by the genius Gianni Versace, and just the pictures themselves, are fantastic as well. Mario Testino and other great photographers. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think anyone else in fashion did something, like that or greater than that. That era was the best in my opinion, and Versace photo shoots of his collection were the best and still are.
Yes, and it's so great that you worked so hard to get to that book, and now you have it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it took like a few months, you know. It's not
Yeah.
like saving, a few years, but still, like, they were expensive, and I'm like, I must have it, and I was worried that someone else will buy it, and I'm like, no, 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 please keep it. No, if someone wants to buy, we'll sell, we're not gonna wait for you. But the books, they waited for me, and I bought them, and they are awesome, absolutely.
Was
So,
meant
Andrea, what are you working on at the moment? What's your next big project?
Well, thank you for asking. The next is, we're continuing with The Weight of Water, which is what this photograph is from for the New York Nil Gallery. But there are two.
Mm-hmm.
One is this project in Arkansas that is primarily about the landscape of an area that experienced a race massacre in 1919, what that did to the Black communities there. And that will be for this museum and civil rights center. So that is my
Mm-hmm.
artist in residence, but I'm not in residence because I'm in New York. And the other piece that I'm working on that I'm so excited about is a piece here in Rochester, New York, and it's a follow-on from a previous project called Remnant. And it's
Mm-hmm.
by artists, collaborative dance, music, text, storytelling, visual art, and it largely follows 5 generations of an indigenous woman and
Mm-hmm.
her matriarchs throughout time, and how those stories are woven into the physical landscape here in Western New York. And it's something I just don't know how to explain, but it is moving and it's beautiful, and I love being a part of it. And the women who organized it are, I mean, they're just some of the most incredible people I've ever met. So when they said, hey, we're going to do another iteration of it, or we're going to talk about this area of land, I'm like, yeah, sign me up. I'm there.
That's awesome.
And I got to work with the old photographs of these matriarchs from, decades and decades ago. And I did a lot of composite work with them. So I did this
Mm-hmm.
with the staff, the cast, the dancers, and
Mm-hmm.
composite work with them as well, on top of landscape texture of, drone footage, but really a bunch of different media.
So
And
you kind of revived, the moments, right? From
that's
the past.
right. And trying to show how people, it's the same in this with the Arkansas project, how people are woven into the landscape, no matter what you do, no matter what violence has occurred, people's stories stay in the soil. People's stories stay there. But it's hard to see, right? It's hard to really understand that emotionally unless art can help, any kind of art. So
Mm-hmm.
you can see I'm excited. So those are the things that
Yeah, you are, and we are excited too to see the result. I'm personally, super excited always about the result. The most. The process is great, but it's hard work, and it's just normal the way it always should be. But the result is what makes me happy. You see that the hard work and everything you invested, like your soul, your time, your money, everything worth it, and people admire what you did, right? And that's the main goal, in my opinion. So, Andrea, I wish you best of luck with
thank
all your incredible and truly important projects. It's a social and also a cultural project at the same time, each project of yours. And can't wait to see the result of your work in March, art installation performance at the gallery in New York, and also in September.
yes.
Can't wait. And we'll follow your news, and we'll learn more about your art. And thanks for joining, and congrats on selection.
Thank you very much. And thanks for doing all of these interviews. They've been wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my honor and pleasure.
But
Bye. That was Andrea Gluckman from United States of America, an internationally acclaimed photographer, writer, and diplomatic advisor. Bye.